Home Depot has this grill. It's a smart grill, digital smart grill on sale. There's the model number. I went down and picked it up. So go check it out on homedepot.com. When you go down and get it, make sure you get, if you don't have at least a 6-inch long screwdriver, Phillips head, get one because you're going to need it, and you'll see that in the video. Go down to Home Depot, pick up a new grill. It's a smart grill. It has an app. It'll do all kinds of stuff. Look at it on homedepot.com. I'll leave a link. It's not an affiliate link or anything. I just wanted to let you all know about it. And then what you can do for me is when you get done, you come back and watch me put it together. Hopefully I can give you some pointers. So I unpackaged all the legs and all the pieces I had to get to put it together. Here's the screws. It even comes with a handy little wrench. Grill body itself looks like it's pretty nice. So the grill itself looks like it's pretty good quality, but the stand that it sits on is a little thin, but I'm sure once it's all bolted together it'll be fine. It's got a nice thick porcelain coated grate, cooking grate, and then the box was a little damaged. That piece is bent, but it'll be fine. That's the where the propane tank sits. So let me get started, and when I get it all put together, I'll show you how it works. So it shows 1 and 2 bolting to number 17 using 6A screws, and looks like 3 screws going in it. Now if you look at the top of the legs, they're stamped. That's a 4 and a 2. There's a 1. I need the 1 and the 2. So this first, just like anything else, this first one is frustrating. But if your holes don't seem to line up like mine didn't, you have the wrong pieces. Kind of look right here at this curved area that goes on number 2, and that'll make sure you have this right top piece, because I didn't see it stamped anywhere number 17, and then number 1 goes on the other side. So if you do not have these 3 screws lining up, you have the wrong pieces. I want to show you something else if you don't have it. See how deep down the screw is? If you don't have a long enough screwdriver to go in that hole, make sure you pick one up when you pick up the grill. So that's what those holes are for. You slide the screwdriver down through it so you can tighten these legs up. Do that for each one. So each one of these holes, if you have a long extension, you can use a drill to do this. I got my drill right there, but extension isn't quite long enough. So I got to do these couple by hand. I was able to do this one because it's shorter with the drill. So there's the first set of legs. So now I got number 4 and 3. There they are, 3 and 4. I'm going to put those together before I put this number 8 support between the 2 legs on the other one. I'll do those both at the same time. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go put both supports on, just so I'm doing the same thing. Makes it a little bit easier for me. Just like on the other one, 4 goes to the side with the angle. That's the side with the angle right here. And then these things sticking up go to the top. So number 4 goes on this side. We're going to use the A screws, which I have in my pocket. If you have vice grips, line up your holes and clamp it down. Make it a whole lot easier to get your screws on. You won't be struggling with it like I am, and I'm kind of hard-headed. I don't feel like going down to my toolbox getting the vice grips, but I should probably be putting this together in the garage, but it's pretty heavy. I want it up here so I can just wheel it right out onto the deck. Anyway, like I was saying, sorry, this isn't the greatest workshop. If you have some vice grips, line up these 3 holes, clamp it here and here. It'll hold it together perfectly while you get your screws in. If you look on the back of the box of screws, see that's the screws. You can see it's got A, B, C, and D screws. And the instructions tell you which ones to put where. Can't get much easier than that. This is some pretty flimsy metal, but it's braced really well, so no doubt once it's all bolted together, it's going to be solid. The one that's built in Home Depot felt pretty solid, but it's really thin metal. Okay, now same thing on this leg. If you have vice grips, go ahead and clamp it together. If not, get frustrated and fight with it like I do until you get the screw in there. Again, same thing. There's a hole in the top that lines up with the screw, so you can tighten it up. So make sure these are snug. You don't want it to come in loose, but don't strip them. Snug them up nice and snug. You'll never take it apart, so if you got some thread lock, might not hurt to use the thread lock. Here is the braces that go towards the bottom of the legs, like in number 2 and number 4. They also use the A screws, so if you put a bunch in your pocket, you're good to go. Just flip these over. The threaded side is on the legs, and then obviously you want the smooth side to the outside and the bent side on the inside, just for aesthetics. Same thing, if you have clamps, you can just clamp them on there. I'm just going to get one on each side, help hold it up, and then I'll get the other 2 screws in the top, because this is actually the bottom of the legs. It looks like this is where your casters go. So this thing came with 2 big wheels and 2 casters, which is nice. Looks like you can just wheel it around. You don't have to lift one end first. Hopefully you were able to take advantage of the sale at Home Depot. I don't know if it's all over the country they're having the sale or just in my area, but it is a compared to what they sell this thing for, is a pretty good deal. I was getting a grill anyway because mine rotted through. I used it till I couldn't use it anymore. $80 cheap little thin, way thinner than this metal. $80 grill, lasted me 3 years, and I used it a lot. The shocking thing is the igniter still works. It's the only grill I've ever had that the igniter didn't go out on every year. So I'm thinking it might be because of the placement. They might have it shielded from the grease really well, so it still sparks. It's just one of those mechanical spark igniters. It's not one of the electronic ones. But man, now we're on to do the next set of legs. Sweetie's coming home. Didn't you see the video light on?
I didn't see the do not enter sign. Nice. Wow.
Yeah, that sucker was heavy. I had to take it out of the box in pieces to bring it in. That's why it's getting put together right here. So just wheel it out. Number 5, put the 2 legs together with piece number 15, and then piece number 7. Piece number 15 come in that box with the wheels. Piece 15 uses the B screws. 4 B screws. See the 2 holes on the end, and then you will see the threaded 2 silver threadlets on each leg. This goes to there. bar 7 goes across the back side, opposite side of where 15 went. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it to this and then put the other set of legs together. You can see the notch here. You can see the threadlets here. It's the A screws. Line those up like so. It goes from the inside out. I'm going to start with the bar and line up these threadlets and use the 2 A screws like so. Do the same thing for this side. Line up the threadlets, screw them together. Should be getting easier because it can start to support itself. Don't strip them. Snug them up by hand. That's how I do it. This one I'm going to set it so I can remember these are the B screws, smaller screws. So get them lined up. I'm going to go top down because of gravity and make it easier. Right here it says B times 4. So 4 B screws into this, which that's the front. I don't know what it is. And then you can always look at the picture. And then right here, that's the plate that goes on the bottom. Let's go look at the box. So we're putting this plate on and this plate. I don't remember seeing that plate. There's the Nexgrill plate. And then I believe this is the other front plate. It's got other advertising on it. So flip that upside down. Remember which side is the front. Let me face the front. That's the shelf. This is the front piece. It's got all the holes in it and then the vent holes. That's going to go down. So this is upside down. That would be standing right side up. So it looks like this a shelf for the front of the unit. Put that like so. Both plates use B screws, so get out 8 B screws. In the bottom. Make sure you put it in the one closest to the front. Set it like this to make it easier to get to this screw. They didn't put this screw in a very friendly place. So you see, leave the pocket in the front. You got a place to put your brushes and stuff. Now I gotta get this plate on. flip it back over. Put the bent side to the inside, so the next grill is on the outside. Line up your holes, put your 4B screws in. These clamps would come in handy. Another trick is you can stick the screw through the hole. Keep your head of your screwdriver on it and line it up and start threading it in. So you actually use the plate to hold the screw for you. Last one. Go ahead and snug these up. Put thread locker on them if you want. Time for the casters and the wheels. Grab your wrench. Small size for the casters. You spin the whole wheel, not just the wheel, but at the base here. You can tighten it in and wait till the end to use the wrench. Little tip. But this is a swivel, so if you do this, it's not going to do anything. You have to move the base. And get that all the way down, and then use the wrench to tighten it. Like that. Grab the long rod, your two big wheels. Slide a threaded end. This is the back. Slide it through this way and then grab C2 out of the packet. And slide it through these notches. It's 2 locking nuts. Put one on. Push the axle all the way through the other side. Put the other wheel on. Put the locking nut on. They show you tighten it up with a wrench, but they don't show you holding the bar because you're not going to be able to hold it with your hand. You can get some rubber or something you can put around it. I'm just going to use a pair of channel locks. And then put the nut until it's flush. Do the same with the other side. These are locking nuts, so you just need to get them through that plastic part in there, and that helps hold them on. So just drive the nut on until the axle comes flush with the outer edge of the nut. That's all you need. The propane base in while it's upside down right here. Mine was bent a little. 4 more B screws. See, mine was bent a little bit, but it's not worth taking it all back. Can't see it anyway. Use 2 pair of channel locks and I'll bend it back a little better. I was saying there's a hole here and a hole here. This goes inside and line up these threadlets here. You'll understand when you have it in front of you. Get these 2 screws because they go in from the bottom before you flip it over. there's 1, 2, like so. Tighten them up really good. See, this right here is where your screw is going to come through. It's going to come through right here into there to hold your tank when it's sitting in that hole, to keep your tank steady, your propane tank. So now you can flip it over, put the screws in the top of that plate. Line up the threadlets. Put your B screws in. Again, on all of these on the frame, if you want to use thread locker, you can. You know, I always use the medium stuff in case I do want to take stuff apart, but I don't see ever taking this apart. So if you want to use some type of thread locker, go for it. Next, get these 2 little bars. If you can see right here, there's a slot. These go in, and then the screw goes through from the outside in. Like so. Do that on both sides. Into the slot, slide it back, put it in the other side slot. It's just some extra support. This thing's really sturdy once it's put together. So the camera died. I went ahead and put the top on. It's fairly simple. Those 4 posts that were sticking up, you put the 4 A screws, 2 on each side. That's it. Once you get it set into place, you can't see anything in here. This is the igniter. Just want to show that to you. So this next step is securing the gas line. I'll show you what I didn't capture because the phone died. You got these 4 things sticking up, you'll see it. Make sure the cord doesn't get caught in there. And then make sure your gas line, this is your gas line, is unsecured and drops down in the middle so it doesn't get in the way. And then once you set, there's notches in the bottom of this. Once you set it down on the post, you're going to use the 4 A screws and put them in the sides. That's all you missed. And it looks pretty good sitting on the stand. So this is the part I wanted to show you. It's important. This is actually a support for the gas line so you don't rip it out accidentally. It's for the propane line. And you've got 2 B screws. And then I already got it started. You'll see the 2 holes right here. And then you'll see that plate. You kind of pull that flexible propane line through and line up those 2 holes on that plate that hold your propane line together. And then there's your regulator that screws under your tank. That's going to keep your propane line secured. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these up. Snug those up nice and tight. Keep that line secured. And then hopefully you understand with me just showing you how it's going to look underneath the grill. And you'll see these 2 holes here, so it'll be understandable. Next thing is the power cord. you got these two cord one-hole straps that go on the side of the legs with 2 B screws. That's what I wanted to show you too. I put this nut in. You got to take this screw out and take this piece off of this screw assembly, and then you thread this in to here, and then you put this washer and screw back in the end that helps hold the tank base. So you put the tank down in here, and then you tighten that up to clamp it in, so when you're rolling the grill around, it doesn't fall out. So get your 2 one-hole straps that came with it and 2 B screws. We'll go ahead and strap this cord, hopefully to slide around the cord. I will hang them from the screw. You can do it however you want. So the screw will be in the top just because of gravity. So this is to keep the tension off of this connection so you don't accidentally rip it out. You don't have to strap it like this, but it's a good idea. It'll keep your cord to the back of the grill. It's just 2 B screws there to give you the strap, so you might as well use it. Like so. Now your cord is in the back of the grill, out of the way. The rounded edge of the shelf goes towards the front. So the one, loosen that up enough. See the notches here and here. Notches here and here. Slide it down over those screws. And then unfortunately you got to climb up underneath and screw the A screws into the top. Once you get your top screws tightened up, go ahead and tighten up the screws on the bottom over the notches.